Three, two, one. Hey friends, Janky here, and welcome to another episode of Hanging with Janky. Well friends, it's been a pretty uneventful week for me, so let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? We got channel talk, we got sub thanks, we got gaming news. Let's hop right in. So, starting off with channel talk, what's going on with the channel? Well, I got up some videos this week, but one in particular that I want to point out to you, which is the Trending with the Jank Squad vid. 5 most obscure references on the internet. It was weird and awesome, and I loved it. And it's the first in a series that involve you guys in making the videos. So, you guys send me suggestions, I write them on slips of paper, I put them in this incredible Hulk bowl, and then I just pick one, I draw it out, and then whatever is on that slip of paper is what the video is for the week. So I think that that's a really cool idea, and I highly encourage you to send me suggestions, but also check out the first one, just so you can see what it's about. As for what is coming up on the channel, we have Janky's Lab, as always. We always got Janky's Labs coming up. Also, we have more Trending with the Jank Squad under its new name, Squad Goals, because the name was subject to change, and I think that Squad Goals is a much better representation of what that series is and what it's about, and plus it's much easier to say. So, more Squad Goals coming at you, and I have a shared shenanigans coming up this week too. One that was supposed to go up last week, Overcooked, but it's going to come up this week. So yay for that too. And that pretty much covers everything going on with the channel, so let's go ahead and move right on over into sub thanks. We got lots of people to thank this week because we are up to 265 subscribers to the channel, and I got lots of new ones to thank. So let's get right into it, shall we? First up this week is Shauna, who subscribed, I think, as I was recording Hanging with Janky last week, maybe? I don't know. But she was like, as soon as I was done like editing and everything, I looked and I was like, oh, and also Sean is here. Oh, I apologize. So let me start off by thanking Shauna. She is a fellow YouTuber doing an Uncharted run on her channel, the entire Nathan Drake collection, I think. She's super sweet and cool, so definitely check her out. And thank you so much, Shauna, for joining the Jank Squad. Next up, we have Lost Silver. Lost Silver, you are an awesome, spectacular human being, and thank you so much for being a part of the squad. Keep doing you. Next up, we have Danny King. Danny, thank you so much. You are super cool and amazing. You seem like you are an awesome individual. Keep being you, man. Then we have, and I apologize because I think I'm going to get this name wrong, Alvaro. Thank you so much, Alvaro, for joining the Jank Squad. I very much appreciate it. Hope that you enjoy the content, and hope that you continue to enjoy being a part of the Jank Squad in the future. Keep being you. Last, but certainly not least, we have Winter and Torm. Winter and Torm does a Legend of Zelda series on their channel, and also some Minecraft and some other stuff too. They're super cool. They seem super nice on Twitter. Definitely go check them out. And thank you so much, Winter and Torm, for joining the Jank Squad. And that is everyone I have to thank this week, so apologies if I miss you. I'll try to fit you in next week into my sub thanks, but of course, thank you to all 265 members of the Jank Squad. You guys are all amazing and wonderful, and thank you so much for liking the content. I hope that you continue to enjoy it going forward, and just thank you so much for being here. You guys are all amazing and awesome and wonderful. Love you. Alright, mushy mush out the way, so let's go ahead and move on into gaming news, starting with quickfire news. Pew, pew. Alright, so let's start off quickfire news this week by talking about the Steam Summer Sale, which started this week. So if you're hankering for some new video games and you love deep discounts, head on over to Steam and check out all the deals. They're awesome and amazing. Continuing to speak on games, Project Rap Rabbit has fallen short on its $1 million Kickstarter goal, so unfortunately the new rhythm adventure game from the creators of Papa Rappa and Gitaroo Man will have to be put on hold until they can find a way to fund their game. Hopefully we'll see it one day, but who knows. Continuing to speak on games, Gigantic, the awesome MOBA game that's super cool, used to be on the Windows Store. I was part of the beta, absolutely love it. Come back to it every now and again. Will be officially launching next month, and you'll be able to find it on Steam, so definitely check it out when it gets over there. It's super cool. Continuing to speak on games, Darkest Dungeon has released their DLC, The Crimson Court, which introduces vampires as long as a host of new monsters and heroes. So if you love Eldritch horrors and you love scrolling RPGs and all that good stuff, definitely check out The Darkest Dungeon. Continuing to speak on games, Final Fantasy XIV has unfortunately been the victim of DDoS attacks ever since their Stormblood update. Square Enix has been working on it, but the servers have been incredibly slow. They ask that the players bear with them while they try to fix this problem. Circling back around to Steam, let's talk about the Vive and the new controllers that Steam and Valve are designing for it. The Knuckles controllers, which allow for tracking of all 4 fingers in the VR space, which means that you can have much more dexterity in VR, which is super cool, and I can't wait to see more from it. These are, of course, very early in the process right now, but we may see some more from them over the coming years. Continuing to speak on VR, the first Mario Kart VR experience has opened in Tokyo, a sweet arcade which lets you drive a kart through your favorite tracks. Hopefully no one goes to Rainbow Road. You would just literally be falling into space over and over in VR. That would be sad. Hey, speaking of Nintendo, Nintendo has emphasized the difference in the Super Mario Odyssey footage between Mario possessing people and Mario capturing them. Because of course you can't call it possession, it has to be a pun on the fact that you take them with your cap. They're captured. Thanks, Nintendo, for the frickin' puns. And that wraps up Quickfire News for this week. So, slowing things down a bit, our next news story comes to us from Gamescom 2017, where it has been confirmed that German Chancellor Angela Merkel will be opening up this year's celebration. Angela Merkel, of course, is the leader of Germany, and Gamescom has been held for as long as anyone can remember in Cologne, Germany, and it's expected that she'll give a speech about the importance of the video game industry to the overall health and well-being of the German economy, which is super cool. So obviously it doesn't seem like there's a lot of meat to that story, because obviously Gamescom is still a few months out, so we don't really know a lot about what Angela Merkel will be doing in the opening ceremony or anything like that, but it did get me thinking about the importance of the video game industry to the economy here in the US, so I decided to look up some figures. So in order to get the figures I'm about to share with you, I went straight to the source, which is the Entertainment Software Association, which is a trade organization over top of video game industry and electronic entertainment here in the United States, running out of Washington, D.C. They've been collecting data for years from both consumers and industry professionals to try to gauge what's going on with the video game industry in terms of both its effect on US society and culture and its contribution to the US economy. So according to the data from the ESA, the video game industry generated nearly $23.5 billion in revenue last year. And according to their employment statistics that they received from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the video game industry's employment rate has grown 3% over the last 3 years. For comparison, the only ones that even come close to that are advertisement, which has grown around 4% in the last 3 years, and computer programming, which has grown around 6% in the last 3 years. Also, according to the ESA, the average age of gamers between both men and women is around 35 years old. The average household has 2 gamers in it, and people spend more time with video games than they do with TV, books, movies, or any other form of traditional entertainment, which is really interesting. Now, obviously that was a lot of dry statistics, and I don't blame you if you're just like, oh my god, just move on. But I just think it's interesting, you know, to talk about how integral that video gaming has kind of become to our society. Education, training, all these things that we use VR and games for that we never did before, and it's cool, and it's awesome, and yes! Alright, let's move on then. The next story comes to us from TakeTwo, who has been the center of a large controversy regarding modding. So earlier this week, Take-Two issued a cease and desist order to the creators of Open4, which is a modding software used by people who want to create mods for GTA 4 and also single-player GTA 5. Take-Two claims that they issued the cease and desist order because apparently Open 4 has recently become a place where people create malicious mods that they use in online mode. But critics of the move have said that the real reason that Take-Two did it is because they want more money from people playing online. And if they can get mods for free in single-player mode that do the same thing as the paid stuff that they have to get in online mode, Take-Two doesn't want that. They've also pointed out that the professional modding community has always respected Take-Two's rules about not using mods in online mode, so a lot of people are pretty upset about the decision. So after this public outcry against Take-Two trying to shut down Open 4, everyone went to Steam and absolutely plastered GTA 5 with negative reviews. Overnight, it went from overwhelmingly positive to overwhelmingly negative. Rockstar, the developers of GTA, and also surprisingly silent up to this point, issued a statement yesterday to sort of try to clear things up. Rockstar Games believes in reasonable fan creativity and, in particular, wants creators to showcase their passion for our games. After discussions with Take-Two, Take-Two has agreed that it generally will not take legal action against third-party projects involving Rockstar's PC games that are single-player, non-commercial, and respect the intellectual property, IP, rights of third parties. This does not apply to A. multiplayer online services, B. tools, files, libraries, or functions that could be used to impact multiplayer online services, or C. use or importation of other IPs, including other Rockstar IPs, in the project. This is not a license, and it does not constitute endorsement, approval, or authorization of any third-party project. Take-Two reserves the right to object to any third-party project or to revise, revoke, or withdraw this statement at any time in their own discretion. This statement does not constitute a waiver of any rights that Take-Two may have with respect to third-party projects. So apparently, according to that statement, you're allowed to continue making mods, but you're working within a very tiny set of rules. Honestly, I think it's the same rules that it's always been, so I guess this is just like a reset to 0. But my god, Take-Two, why? You didn't have to. You didn't have to do that. Honestly, I don't think that they expected the backlash that they did, but they got it, and I guess we're resetting to 0, so continue modding, modders. Keep having fun in GTA 5, but only in single player. Don't go online. Alright, so let's move on to our last piece for the week, which is the opinion piece. This week we are talking about Twitch and Blizzard and how they inked a streaming deal. So this past week, Twitch and Blizzard announced that they inked a deal over esports, saying that Blizzard esports will now be streamed exclusively to Twitch. This includes Overwatch, Hearthstone, StarCraft, and other Blizzard esports. So I haven't seen a lot of response to this, like gauging people's opinions either way. Obviously, a lot of people, whenever they're streaming, they use Twitch anyway, but with things like YouTube and Beam, and just like streaming to television or like live streaming ESPN or anything like that, I want to hear what your opinions are on exclusivity when it comes to esports streaming. Do you think that it's a perfectly acceptable move and just capitalism at work, or do you think it's something that, you know, it should be made available to a wider range of people? I'm curious, so let me know what your opinions are down below. I want to hear what you think. And that wraps up the gaming news for the week, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Hanging with Janky. If you did, you can of course leave those likes down below. Comments, positive or negative, like I said, feel free to leave those below as well. But more than anything, I hope you have a lovely day, evening, or whenever you happen to be watching. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, this is Janky Shenanigans, signing out.